Hello. Okay, hello everyone. This is Tejas Warbude, and today we are going to learn Git with the Progate. And so, firstly, I would like to introduce myself, and I'm Tejas Warbude. I'm currently a Microsoft student partner, augmented reality developer in Elixir Systems. And today, our community, GDG and Facebook developer community, are going to take a session on Git with the help of Progate, and I would like to thank you, Progate, for that. And Sheeraz, would you like to introduce yourself?
Hi guys, Sheeraz here. Um, so I guess people are still coming in, so we'll start in some minutes. So I guess everybody is having a great day. So guys, I'm Sheeraz. Um, I'm an entrepreneur and a developer from quite a few years. I'm also a security researcher and security analyst. So today's session is going to be about Git. I hope you all are excited about it because I am. And it will start from with the very basics of command line, and we'll move up our way with Git and GitHub. I guess enough people are here, so maybe we can start. I guess. What do you say?
Sheeraz, let me introduce our community and we will start here.
What?
Let me introduce our community, GDG and
Yeah,
DevC, and
yeah,
then we
sure.
will start.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah, okay. So, hello everyone. This is Tejas Warbude. I'm a augmented reality developer and I'm into extended reality field. I'm currently a Microsoft student partner and also a augmented reality developer in Elixir Systems. Currently a second year student or in computer science Oriental Institute. And today we are going to learn about Git and we are going to have an hands-on session with the help of Progate. And what will and we as a community in GDG and DevC, why we are doing this is, and are you okay with the English or would you like to be have some mix Hindi and English? ओके तो थोड़ा हिंदी में भी कर देता हूँ कि अ, हम लोग इसलिए कर रहे हैं कि पहले हम लोग चाहते हैं कम्युनिटी बन बैठे भोपाल में बने जो कि टेक्नोलॉजी के बारे में सीखे नई टेक्नोलॉजी के बारे में जाने उन्हें नई नई अपॉर्चुनिटीज मिले एंड आगे अगर हम लोग भी कुछ एक बड़ी टेक्नोलॉजी में इन्वेस्ट करें ताकि ओके इंग्लिश ओके तो हम लोग आगे आकर खुद का एक कम्युनिटी बना पाए जहाँ पर हम लोग यहाँ पर भोपाल के लोग भी आगे आकर काम करें टेक्नोलॉजी पे और ये हम लोग कुछ पैसों के लिए नहीं करते हैं, ना कि किसी चीज़ के लिए, ये सिर्फ इसलिए एज अ पे बैक थिंग है कि लोगों ने हमारे लिए किया एंड नाउ हम लोग उनके लिए कर रहे हैं। तो हम लोग एक काफ़ी बड़ी टीम है, भोपाल कोडर्स कम्युनिटी के नाम से तुम फेसबुक पे सर्च कर सकते हो, जिसमें हम लोग इसके पहले भी कई सारे सेशन करवा चुके हैं। एंड गिट का पर्पस यही था कि काफ़ी लोगों को एक बेसिक सी चीज़ नहीं आती है, जो कि गिट काफ़ी यूज़फुल है कोलैबोरेटिव वर्क के लिए या फिर किसी कॉम्पिटिशन्स के लिए, या फिर आगे अगर जब भी किसी भी जॉब में जाओगे या फिर कॉम्पिटिशन में जाओगे या फिर खुद के ही प्रोजेक्ट्स पे काम करोगे, तो एज अ वर्जन कंट्रोल सिस्टम गिटहब इज द बेस्ट, Git and GitHub is the best. And so we will, okay, so we will have Sheeraz now and he will start the session. And for before that, I would like to thank you, Progate, for this opportunity. Yeah, Sheeraz, you can continue from here.
So guys, I am seeing a lot of people are asking for English. So I guess I'm gonna start in English. Uh, so first of all, what I'm gonna show you is as we are using Progate as our starting point, because Progate have some exercises that you can follow along with me as I do them, and I'll be explaining what I'm doing, and you can do them with me. So first of all, Tejas is going to share a link with you guys so that you can go to that link, and then I'll share my screen and show you what to do. It's recommended if you have a laptop, please use a laptop. So this is the link, bit.ly GDG Bhopal Progate. Uh, I think Tejas has shared it. If not, please share it, Tejas.
Yeah, I've shown this in tag and I'm going to comment it so you can go from there. Just a minute.
Task completed. Cool. Uh, okay. And task on Progate. Guys, this is a basic Git. Like we are going to cover some advanced things, but not everything will be advanced here. This is supposed to be the basic one. And after this, I was hoping that when everyone's on board and on the same page, then we can start with the advanced stuff. So we'll start with Progate first. So who all don't have a Progate account, just log in. I'm going to use my Google account for logging in. It logged me right in. Are you guys good? So let's start from over here. And before starting the exercises, I'll go through the what we are gonna go through in this tutorial. If I some of these topics are optional, as if my time gets over, then I'm gonna leave and we're gonna do another session of Git and GitHub, and that we'll talk about more stuff. So I don't know if you guys can see this. So what we learn is these things. First of all, we'll go over basics of command line. And this is not a comprehensive list of command line stuff. This is the very basics. If you are a total complete noob, then you are gonna be on board with us. If you know these commands, you can start using it. Then we'll go over what's Git and what's GitHub. Then I'll tell you what they are and basically what they do. And after that, we'll install Git in our computers. And if we are using Progate, then we won't. But we'll see about that. After that, I'll show you some basic flow of commands in Git and GitHub. Basically, Git how to you initialize the direct Git repository and add files to it and all that. After that, we'll be moving on to branches and merging. If time permits, then we'll go over to branches and merges. And after that, we're gonna go to conflict resolution, pull requests, and open source contribution. I hope we are good with that. I'll start taking questions in some time when we first start with our exercises. I can't see your comments actually. So
Yeah, you can continue, Shiraz. I will tell you if there is some problem or there is any question.
cool. So first of all, we are gonna start with after you have logged into Progate, just go to courses section, and then we'll start with the course over here. It's called command line. This one, and just start the first lesson. We are not gonna do the whole exercise. Just gonna show you the necessary command line things. Just skip the slides. Start exercise. You have me, so you don't need the slides. What we'll do is we'll remove everything. You just have you should just have this Progate directory and nothing else. And right here, are you all doing it with me, or should I go on and on? Because I need some sort of interaction to know you are there. Okay, so no comments. Then I'll assume that we are good. So first command that I'm going to show you is called ls. ls stands for a list. So right now we don't have anything in our directory. Directories are folders basically. So this is a directory, and if I right click on it and create a new folder, then I'll write intro to command line, I guess. Intro to command line. Okay, this is the folder I created. This is how we do it from GUI, or basically do it from mouse. What command line is basically um, this is the old way of doing things. Before the first Mac came out, everything the computers used to be operated from command line itself, and everybody used to do it that way. But why we are learning command line is because you might not agree with me right now, but this is a faster way of talking to the computer as a developer. But it's okay if you don't believe me right now, because we are gonna go at a slower pace because everyone who don't know needs to learn and understand this. So after I've created a directory, I'll create another file in the this Progate directory. We'll call it, I guess, story.text. Now, if I type ls, I have two things in my directory. In my folder, I have two things: intro to command line and story.txt. Although, like in the mouse and keyboard word or in the GUI, you can see these two folders right over here. And what ls does is just list files. Now, I want you all to do it with me. So this is a basic tutorial of command line. Then we'll start exploring stuff. So the second command we are gonna learn today is cd. It stands for change directory, and we are gonna change our directory to intro to command lines. And right now, this is basically double clicking on the folder and going inside of it. Now it says intro to command line over here. That means that we are in the directory, and we can make another touch is used to make files. These files, like it's equivalent of right clicking over here and then making a new file. Let's call it colors.txt. Here we'll make another file called git session.txt, and see, it shows up right over here because that's how you generate files. Okay, let's talk about if you want to make another folder, you right click over here and make another folder. Although in this situation I'm going to use command line, and the command line command for making the directories is mkdir. Mkdir stands for make directory. People call it all sort of way, but that's basically what it is. And I'm going to name the directory I guess git. Okay, and when I type in ls and press enter, now I have another directory called git in my folders. To go into the git directory, I'm going to use change directory and enter into git folder.
Sheeraz, uh,
Yeah,
can you zoom a little bit?
can I zoom in a little bit?
Yeah, थोड़ा छोटा दिख रहा है तो कंट्रोल प्लस दबा के
Mm,
कंट्रोल प्लस कर ले.
yes. Does this help? Because
Yes.
okay. Any questions so far? Do I have any questions so far?
No, Shiraz, you can carry on.
Okay. So what ls does is you list directories with it, and because list directories and files inside of the directories, and because git directory does not have anything inside of it, we don't see anything as of now. For going back a directory, we are going to use cd dot dot, and this takes us out of that directory that we were in. Like, because the git directory is inside of intro to command line, we went back one step to intro to command line. Sorry. And if we do cd dot dot again, we are going to be in the root directory or the Progate directory. Here, if we do ls, we see story.txt. There's another command that you should know of is cat command. Or before that, let's click on story.txt and add some text. Git session is going good. Okay, and it saves it automatically. So another command that you're going to do, I'm going to show you is cat. Cat basically shows us what's in the file. So if I type in cat space story s and then press tab, it auto completes the name, and it says git session is going good. That's what was in the file. That's why I printed that out. Okay, so there is an option I wanted you guys to see is ls-al. I have to unzoom it for this basic thing. Yeah. Is it visible to everyone? ls-a. What it does is show all the information and hidden directories. Hidden folders are in Unix are basic directories that have a dot in front of their name are hidden folders in Unix. So to see those folders, you need to use ls-al. Then those show up in your output, like bash rc file, bash history, and .git folder were hidden files. One of the last commands I'm going to show you are rm. Rm is stands for remove, and uh, if I do an ls, I see two files I have. I'm going to remove story.txt because I don't need it anymore. So I'm going to simply say rm story.txt and press enter. And now if I do listing again, I only have one file left. That's called intro to. I have one folder left, intro to CMD. So I'm gonna cd into this folder, and I'm gonna do ls again. Now editing files is easy, but what if you want to remove a directory? For example, here I want to delete this directory called git. It says it's a directory, you can't remove it, and it has not been removed. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna say rm dash rf and then say git. It will delete it. What it RF stands for is recursive force. Remove recursive force. These three flags I have set, and git directories has been removed. So that was a basic overview of command line. We learned about ls, we learned about cd, we learned about touch, remove, Mkdir, and yeah, we also learned about cat. Any questions so far?
Yeah, Shiraz, there is no question, but they want that if you can go a little slow, like if they can have a hands-on.
Yes, yes, you can sure have a hands-on. I have exercise actually. So what you guys have to do is that wait, let me type it out so you guys can see it. Sorry for the whole thing. Here I'll type out your task. Make a directory. Make a folder. I guess that would be more easier to understand for Linux. So make a folder called Marvel. Inside that folder, make three files called Spider-Man. I guess Iron Man, Nick, these three .txt. Edit Spider-Man to say what do you want. I don't know. Whatever you want, whatever. Type in something in the file, and then cat it out, and then afterwards remove the whole file one by one and remove the directory. This is your task. You also have to make another directory inside of Marvel called DC and remove that directory as well. Should I make this bigger or you can see it properly?
Yeah, Shiraz, just zoom in a little bit.
Okay. Can you please explain rm-rf again and touch command again? Yes, sure. I'll basically go over the whole thing all over again. So let's start with deleting everything. What touch command does is it makes files. Whatever the thing, whatever name you will give here, maybe let's say test.txt, it will create that file. Like when I said touch test.txt, it showed up in my directory. And if I do ls, now test.txt exists. You can make any sort of file with this touch batman.txt or image or whatever you want. You can type whatever name you want and it will show up right over here. Mkdir, what it does is it makes directories. So if I say mkdir dc, so this folder gets created called dc. And if I do ls again, dc is our folder now. If I want to remove this folder, I can do rm-rf and remove dc. Although I'm not going to do it right now because what happens is rm command simply deletes files. So it deletes one thing at a time. If I do remove batman.imb, it is going to remove that one file. But when I try to basically remove a directory, let's say DC here, it says it's a directory. You cannot remove a directory because directories have multiple files in them generally. So what what rm-rf does is it forces to delete recursively as in repeatedly. Whatever the file inside this directories, delete them and then delete the folder itself. I hope that clears it up. If it doesn't, let me know. I'll go over again. So if I do this, it's gonna delete that folder. Any more questions?
I think Shiraz, you can carry on.
Okay, so were you guys able to do this exercise? Okay, where did you guys had a problem? Okay, so I'll do it with you. Who all didn't got the weren't able to do the exercise? I'll start fresh. Okay. If you weren't able to do it, I'm gonna start fresh and delete everything from just once more, one last time. Okay. And the first task was to create a Marvel directory. So I'll create a directory mkdir Marvel, and we have a directory called Marvel. Then our task was to create spiderman.txt, ironman.txt, and nick.txt inside of this directory. So I'll change my directory to Marvel. That means I'm going inside that directory. Then I'm gonna touch what were the name of these files? Spiderman.txt. See, spiderman.txt shows up here. What that is? Sorry. Yeah, my browser window is too small. That's why it's showing it on the other side. So spiderman.txt got created when I touched this thing. Then I will make another file called ironman.txt, and that file gets created. Then I'm gonna make another file called nick.txt. That thing gets created. Our two of our tasks are done, making files and changing into directories and making directories. One more last thing I'll do is make a directory called DC. After that, we'll remove it. Last task was to remove everything or delete everything. So I'm gonna remove Iron Man. One shortcut is because you have to type in every word, you can just press tab after typing a few letters of the file name and it'll autocomplete. So here I did remove Iron Man, remove Nick, remove Spider-Man, and all the files are deleted. If we do ls, we don't see any files anymore. And now the last task was to remove the directory. And if I do remove and recursive force, then type in DC and DC gets deleted. Last thing is to go back one directory and delete Marvel itself. So we did cd dot dot, which takes us one step back. And I'm gonna remove it. Yeah. So we are all caught up with this. Now moving on to Git. Oh, God. Yeah. So we know how to use command line. So we'll click on the Progate logo and go back to courses section and start with Git. Give you a little overview of Git. If you search what is Git, Wikipedia gives us a very confusing and full of jargon definition. Git is distributed version control system for tracing and tracking changes in source code during software development. It is designed for coordinating work among programs, but it can be used to track changes and set files. And goal is to include speed, data integrity, and support for distributed nonlinear workflows. So that sounded like jargon. Basically, what Git does is it helps you work collaboratively and track changes along whatever you do, you can track changes in your files when you use Git for it. Now I'm going to give you a little analogy where I'll explain how Git works basically, and then we'll start with the practical. So let's start with this. So for example, if I'm writing a novel and if I'm writing a story and I have done the first part of it, the first release. So I'm going to say story version 1 and save it. But now I think that I needed to for example, the story had many characters and I had to kill. I wrote an ending before that was not really nice in my term, so I changed the ending and I killed the main lead. So in this story, um, I changed. This is version 2 of the same story, but I wanted to keep version 1 just in case I don't like the second ending again. So I have two versions now. So on, I have made many changes to my story and plot changes and a lot of things along the way of writing it. But for example, I have created many versions of this, and we don't want so many versions lying around because they are not useful. But we might need them in future. Maybe we want to go back to whatever it was. In that case, for example, now look at it as code. So you are working on a website, you have done the home page, but for example, your client does not like the home page now. The first setting you did, he did not like. So what you are doing now is you make another homepage version 2, version 2, but then the client says the first one was better. So now if you haven't saved the homepage file that you have made earlier, you have to make it again. In this sense, we need to go back to our first file, but we can't if we have not done save as and kept the version one alone. Git solved this problem. So Git was made uh, for basically managing Linux. Linus Torvald is the author of Git, and when he was working on Linux have a huge, vast code base, and to manage that collaboratively, many people were working on it. So for managing that, they were using Git. After that, he released it in public, and now anyone can use it. It's free to use. That's basically what Git is. Now let's do a little hands-on, and after that you'll understand what Git is and how you can do it, how you can use it in your development workflow. Let's start. Okay, skip the slides again, I guess. Okay, maybe I'll get a little break. I'll take a little break so that you guys can ask questions, I guess. Do we have any questions? Do we have any questions? I'm gonna move on after this.
Yeah, we don't have any question by now, so I think you can carry on. If there is any question, I will tell you. Yeah.
Cool. So moving on. Okay. So first of all, for having Git using Git, basically, you have to have a Git repository. Repository is something that Git generates a folder inside of your directory which keeps track of your files. So for making a Git directory, making basically here we are using my site as an example. This directory have nothing inside of it as of now, but we are going to use Git init, and it will initialize a git folder inside of this directory. And if we do ls-al, it's not going to let us do ls-al, but basically you have a git folder inside of this directory. Now our directory is initialized. Now if we make any changes or add any files in this in my site directory, they are going to be tracked with Git. Follow along with me. If you are following along with me, just click on submit and press next. So Git works with this three steps. First, you make changes in the file or make files basically in your folder when you are working. After that, you prepare to share those changes. Share those changes in the directory. That, for example, if you are working on a website, you make the website first. You make all these pages, and after that, you are sure that this work is final. So I'm gonna upload it to my repository, and then you add it, and then you share it. So here we'll see, we'll add a index.html file to our my site directory, and then we'll see after that. So now my site folder have a file called index.html. Here it's asking us to paste this code inside of it. So I'm gonna do that. This is all the changes that we are making to our directory, and then I'm gonna save it. Now, now we'll add this file to our Git repository. Git add index.html. it'll add it'll add our directory. It'll add our file to the repository. If we do git status, we can see there is this file which is in green color. So this shows that that our file is added to the repository. Just submit and go to the next exercise. Now we are two done. First, we added the file in our repository. Now we want to save it. To save it, we and to finalize it, we need to commit these changes. So for right now, index.html is added to our repository. Now we want to save it. So we are gonna do git commit dash m. Dash m stands for a message. So we are gonna give a message that in created index.html, and we are gonna press enter. Now our Git repository knows that we have added index.html, and this is final as of now, and it is ready to be shared with everyone. Submit text and move to the next exercise. Here, if we see the slides, it's talking about remote. What remote is basically, Git uses something called remote to store files somewhere remotely where everyone can see it. So how Git works is, say two developers are working on a project. So there's dev 1 and there's dev 2. They are working on, for say, we are creating the new Facebook. So Facebook is our project, and my work was to create all the pages. But developer 2 is good with making web pages, so I have added in my project. So we are both working on Facebook's homepage.home.html. Now, if both are in the same room, that's gonna be fine. We can work together and we can copy files with each other. But if we are in a remote place somewhere, if let's say we are working in different time zones and we are working remotely on the same project. Now things get difficult because we cannot copy and paste files into each other's computers. So in that area, in that scenario, Git comes in. So what Git does is it basically maintains a timeline of your files and your changes, and does the same for the other developer. For say developer one made a uh, file change in home.html and added heading, and developer 2, he also made another change in home.html, added description. Now what will happen is, if these both are working, they need to upload their files somewhere so that they can share with each other. So what Git provides us is we can use we can host the repository on the internet, and from there developer one can get my code and I can get his code, and we can work on the same project. So what remote does is remote uh, oh sorry. So what remote is the address of the location of that repository. So what they are talking about is he uploads the file to the remote server, and if the developer 2 wants it, they can download it from that remote server and they can upload their code and they can manage like that. So we'll be adding a remote for our Git repository. where we'll upload and share code with other developers. Because what Git basically does is lets you work with other developers throughout the world, and you both write code on the same time on the same project, but the code won't. For example, the code won't get lost, or it's easier to manage code like that. So now we are going to add a Git remote. Remote is basically just a place on internet where you are storing code. So both of you can get it when one of them basically adds or remove it. So origin and Progate has given these two things. This is the URL where you have to store your website. So if I press enter, what happened? Git remote add. Sorry, I forgot to add origin and the URL, because you are adding the remote right now. Our repository do not have any place to upload. Now we are adding this repository's link where we'll host it. Now we have the remote set up, and submit and move to the next exercise. Okay, before pull push, I want you all to be on the same page as me. So if you guys have any questions, then I'm gonna be waiting for 2 more minutes and take questions. Do you guys have any questions? Want me to explain something again?
There's a question by now, Sheeraz. So I think you can.
I'm gonna wait for 1 more minute.
Yeah.
Let's start.
Or you
Okay.
can just wrap up all the commands together.
Why remote command was not working earlier? Yeah, sure. Okay, that terminal is gone. But remote command was not working because I did not type in the add button. Let me go back to that exercise and show you what mistake I did. So when you start a repository, you don't initially don't have a remote added if you have not cloned it from somewhere. If you just do a git init, it do not have a remote in it where basically there is no place where you can upload it to. So if I do git remote origin and add this URL, it's not permitted over this place. But what it is doing is basically querying that remote. But so you have to add it first, and I forgot to add after remote. I have forgot to add the origin remote. And remote already exists, so now it's gonna give me error. But yeah, that's how it's supposed to work. That's why it was not working earlier. So yeah, now we have a repository where we are storing code. The whole point of storing code online is to work with other developers. So now developer one Here developer one is what he's gonna do is he's gonna push his code to the origin master. Master is nothing. We'll talk about master later on. For now, just ignore it. So start the exercise. So on Progate, this is a great feature that here you see this is our developer number one, Ken the Ninja. Ken the Ninja is our developer number one, and this is cloud. This is remote cloud. The remote we added, it's showing up here. So as Ken, I am working locally. For now, I have made my index.html, and this is my index.html basically. And now I think it's complete, and I have committed my changes. Now I want to push it so other developers can see it. Git push origin master. And what it does is it compresses everything and then uploads it. Origin master uploads are I'll talk about branches later on, so you'll see. So before remote didn't had anything, but now it have index.html. Okay, we are all good until now. Yep. So now developer one has pushed his index.html to the remote server. Now other developer two is going to pull that code so he can edit it, and we are all on the same page and working on the same code. So now we're going to use Git pull to basically pull the code from the remote server. So Ken the Ninja is our developer one, and Master White is our developer two, and this is our code on the remote website or remote server. So now for now, my site have nothing inside of it for Master White or developer number two, as you can see. But if we do Git pull origin master, it is downloading these files, and now we have index.html. Just like Ken uploaded, Master White have got it from the server. So that's what pull push does. Push basically uploads your code to the remote server, and pull basically downloads it from the remote server. So you are all on the same page. So this is our workflow for now. We are adding first. We are going to create our file like we created index.html. Then we add it to the repository. Then we commit it. This is basically adding it, and then after that we save that file. When the file is final, we are going to commit it with a message, whatever the message should be, and then after that we are going to upload it. Then the next developer who's working on it is going to pull it, or if he have made any changes to the project, then we are going to pull it. What Git pull does is downloads the latest code repository from the remote server. Now Master White is working on the same project, my site, and Ken has created index.html. Master White want to add styles to the HTML page. So Master White created another file called stylesheet.css. Now if we click on stylesheet.css, we can add our CSS code. So Progate have given us that CSS code, and we are just gonna double click and copy it and paste it here. So now it's pasted over here and it saves automatically. So what we'll do now? Tell me in comments what should I do now to push it to the remote server. First step should be git add stylesheet.css so that it is a part of no, okay, let me show you. If I type in git status, stylesheet.css is typed in red and it's not added to our repository yet. Okay, yeah. So now if I do git add stylesheet.css, what happened? Git add stylesheet.css. I had this extra space. I guess that's why Progate was not doing it. So it has been added to our repository now. If we do git status, git status, now it shows it have recorded our file in the repository that it is tracking stylesheet.css as a new file in the repository, and all these things are there. Now now just click on next. Oh sorry. Now we have added it to the repository and we are gonna commit it. Commit dash m git commit dash m. What dash m does is um, with every commit we are adding because if we want to come back later to this, I don't know what's going on. Commit dash m created stylesheet.css. This is the message we are gonna give because Git gives us option to roll back to whatever code we were writing. If something goes bad, we can always go back to the previous version of it. Keeps versioning of all the changes that we have done. So what commit is doing is it's giving us clear message. We are giving ourselves clear messages that until now, if we see that Ken gave a commit name that he created index.html. Now master white has created stylesheet.css. So press enter and it has saved our changes. It has saved our stylesheet.css. Now it is ready to be pushed to our remote server. So we are gonna do git push origin master, and now it exists on the server. This was our file. Now what Ken needs to do is his repository does not have any index.html it on any CS style.css because he do not have the latest version of the code. So what we are gonna do is git pull origin master and it will get downloaded from the server. Now this also shows us a little summary of what has been changed. So it is showing that stylesheet.css has been added and there is one file change. That one file gets included in the project and there were three insertions. These three insertions are basically these three lines that it has recorded. Cool. So I guess we are good and we can complete the exercise and move on. Now it's telling us about git status, but I have already shown you git status. Yeah. So what it is saying is this is time for Ken. We are using as developer one, and we are opening index.html. We'll copy this paragraph and we have to change this paragraph. So I'm going to delete that previous one and I'm going to paste the new one. Okay, this is the first file change we are making to index.html. Now I'm going to change another thing. What we did here is, if you know HTML and CSS, which I think you should. So what right now we did is we added this class called subtitle to our paragraph, and we are going to change our style sheet and add a style for subtitle. Press enter and paste it. Okay, then let's see git status of this. Git status should show that index.html has been modified and stylesheet.css has been modified. So what it is saying is that these files have been modified and the modified changes are not recorded in the repository. For them to be recorded, you have to do git add again. So if I do git add index.html, okay, this exercise just lets us do git status, I guess. Just complete the exercise, move ahead. Okay, let it load. So until now we have completed git init. It initializes a git repository that starts tracking all your files and all the changes in the files. Then we added our files in our git repository. Then we see the status, if the file has been added or not. Then we save that changes. Then we push it to the server. Then if we are working with another developer, they are going to pull it. Now we are going to talk about git log and git diff. So as we are talking about until now, that git lets us track all the changes in all these files. So if I want to see the difference, yeah, if I want to see the difference in index.html, I'm going to try this. Sorry, what did I do? It should show me in the, oh sorry, I'm just going to do git diff and it is going to show me the latest changes. So what git diff is doing is, before we had a paragraph without this class. So it is showing me that there was something deleted from index.html and there is something added in index.html, and it is showing me that this line, the paragraph that was there in this file before, it's showing up in red because it was deleted, and underneath that the the line that we added was with the class subtitle. So that was deleted and this was added. This is what it is showing us. And in stylesheet.css we also changed some things. So it's showing that we added in stylesheet.css this subtitle style. That's what that's the latest things that we can see in GitHub. But there's more to it. I'll After we complete these basic things, we'll start with that. It's asking me to add index.html. Okay, it's asking me that we only want to share index.html in the remote directory, I guess. So I'm gonna do git add index.html that I already did. Now only git add will be uploaded to the remote directory and not git uh, not stylesheet.css because we did not add it in our repository. Only when you make change, only when you add files to the git repository and then commit those changes, then they get uploaded to the server or they won't. As I have already shown you, git status is going to show you the files that are added or modified. So here index.html was modified and added, that's why it's green. And and stylesheet.css was modified, but it was not added to the repository, so it's red. This is the last exercise, I think. So git status. So it's modified in green, and the this one is also modified, but it's in red because we have not added the changes yet. So we are gonna add stylesheet.css and then do git status again. It's taking an awful lot of time because maybe it's a sandbox environment on Progate. Otherwise, it won't take that much time. Status, and now both the files are modified and they are both inside that repository. So I'm gonna click submit and move on.
Okay, we have a question, Shiraz.
Yeah.
Mm, It, it is from Ankita Prasad that what does minus 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 and plus 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 are for?
Okay, I'll show you. Right. Minus minus and plus plus are basically indication that these files have been changed. And if minus 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 are there or pluses are there, plus means that something has been added to the file, and minus means that something has been removed from that file. Does that answer your question? Hmm? Did it help? Should I move on?
Yeah, Ankita.
Okay, then I'll be moving on to the next exercise. It was yeah. So now it's talking about git commit. Commit is basically a message that we give to ourselves in the future if we want to come back to the same code. Here they are talking about okay, now I can confirm all the changes before I run add. Next is commit. Should I just type git commit dash m and fix? So the other developer says no, that's a bad practice because then you want to know that what changes have you done. So for example, if I say that git commit dash fix, now I don't know the what fixes I have done in this particular save. So my basically all the things would be in vain. I'll show you in git log. So if I say git commit dash m, so this is a message for me only. I'm telling myself that I changed subtitle color in this version of this file. So if I ever want to go back to the old version, I would know that I have not changed subtitle color or whatever in that version. And I'm gonna push it to origin, push origin, master. It has been now uploaded to the remote file, remote repository. Yeah, I did. Acha, that thing is still going on. Yep, now it's completed. So submit and move next. Now we'll see git log. Along until now, we have been seeing all these changes and everything. We have given commit messages, but we don't even see them anymore. So we will see that how can we look on the older version of our code. Until now, we have made few commits, and on these commits, we had messages to remind us that we were on that version of the code. So if I do git log, look at this. So the first, you can use arrow keys to move up and down this way. So this is commit number. This is the latest commit. The head of the branch is something that is on that is the latest on that timeline. So here we left a message that in this commit we changed style sheet .css, we created that, and in this commit we created index.html. Now if we wanted to delete this, we don't want the changes in style.css. Okay, then we can just move back to this commit, and we'll just have index.html, and we'll discard all the changes made from after over here. And we'll do a git pull origin master. Yeah, so it have pulled all the changes that Ken did over here, and let's see what we get after that. Until now, we only had these things that we created our index.html and created stylesheet.css. Now Ken was working on the project and he has uploaded to the remote repository. Now we are down as developer 2. We downloaded the whole code and now we see git log. So now we can see what all things that Ken basically did. So Ninja Wanko is Ken the Ninja. So in the last change he made was he changed subtitle color. That we did over here now. We added this style for the subtitle color, and now Master White, our developer, to have the whole code, and he knows that what I did exactly. We changed the color that's showing up here. That explains to him. That's why we put in -m and commit messages. What it is saying? Yeah, I'll show you another thing. Git log -p. Git log -p also shows the file differences in the latest commit and all the commits basically. So let me clear the screen first. You can type in uh, clear, or you can control type. You can just press Control plus L to clear the screen. I'll do git log -p, and it will show me the latest changes that they changed in index.html and index.html has the A changes that something was removed and the B changes something was included. So here, and you were asking now what are these minus minus and plus plus. So minus minus is index, basically this thing was removed, so that's what it is showing, that index.html had something removed from it and index.html had something added to it after that. So this is showing up in green and this is what these plus denotes. So same for stylesheet.css. In this commit before this one, we had no changes in index.html. We just added it, and we had plus 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 for stylesheet.css because we added the title style. So gitlog.p shows you all the commits and those file changes. Whatever the changes that we did in this file, we get to see that. And in gitlog alone, we see just the commit message. So we have completed the basics of Git for now. I'm waiting for some questions now. If you guys have some questions, I'm gonna wait 2 another minute. Then we'll start on to installing Git on our system, and I'll show you some advanced Git stuff. Until now, we have covered Git, Git log and Git diff, and all over above that. So what Git diff is, diff does is it shows us the latest file changes that we did in the latest commit, and Git log shows us all the commits that we have, all the versions of the code that we have changed until now. Any questions?
I don't think there's any question, Shiraz. So you can just wrap it up and continue.
Okay, moving on.
Yeah, great.
We'll now install Git on our system. So most of you are on Windows, right? Just go to git-scm.com and then go and download section of this and then download it for Windows. I'm gonna use this one, 64-bit Windows setup. It's gonna take some time to download though. Now we are gonna talk about branches and, and what branches are basically. Ankita, you must have added a file, but the thing is that you might have removed some spaces from that file. That's why it showed minus 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 from inside your inside your basically whatever you do. So if you are using Linux or Mac on your computers, you don't need to install Git. It comes pre-installed. Like it comes pre-installed in almost all the distributions. But there are some, if you are using a minimalist one, then you might not have it on your system. Just type in git-v and it will show you a version. If it shows an error, I will show you how to install it on Git, how to install it on Linux. So on Windows, people might have downloaded it, right? You guys are up with this. I'm gonna show you installation on Windows and on Linux, both of them, in a bit. Just use next, and install it however you want. So guys, if you are not clear on that, I gave you time to download Git. That's why I stopped my screen share. Okay, yeah. So Git's installed on my system. It might ask you some other questions, but just press on yes, and you should be fine with that. Do we have any questions? I don't think so. Don't open git.cmd. What is Can you guys hear me? I'm not sure if I'm audible.
Yes, Shiraz, you are audible.
Okay, so go over to your Windows search panel and type in git bash, and this should pop up and open it. Now, if you because Windows don't have a Linux command line, here you can use all the Linux command line you want, and it have Git installed in it. So if I do git dash v, it shows me all these options. That means Git is installed. For Linux users, apt install git dash y or sudo apt install git dash y should install Git on their system, like it's doing right now on my system. Okay, so moving on. I'll explain what branches are. Are we all good with the Git setup on our system, or do you guys have any issues with that?
Shiraz, can you share your screen?
Okay, am I not sharing a screen? Oh, sorry. I actually started. Forgot to share my screen. So go to your Windows, search for Git Bash, and open this. This will get open up. Type in ls. If it works, that's great. If you type in git dash v, this error should show up, and Git should, if Git is installed on your Linux, this should show up. Okay, and on Linux, if you want to install Git, just type in sudo apt install git dash y, and it'll start installing Git. If you don't have it, you don't always have to install Git on Linux. If you do git dash dash version, it should show a version. If this shows up on your terminal, then Git is installed already. Now I'll show what branches are basically. So what branches are is, until now we were doing git push origin master. So I asked you to ignore master for now. So what master branch is? It is a default branch in a project. So when you create a Git repository, master branch is generated automatically. and this is the default branch in every repository and usually used for production. For let's say branches are nothing but timelines. So for example, we were making Facebook until now. So we were making Facebook and it was on master branch. We are pushing everything on the master branch. But now things have changed and I was thinking about creating a new feature, but I can't do it. When we are developing a feature, it might have errors and bugs inside of it. So we cannot directly push it to Facebook and have it in a production version of Facebook. So I made a branch called um, new feature, very creative with the names, new features. And here we are making maybe new avatars, rather call it new avatars. In this, we are adding new avatars to our Facebook platform. In this branch, now the same code is going to be copied from over this branch to this branch. But whatever we do on now onwards, we make any changes to avatar branch, it's not going to affect master branch. Let me show you GitHub first, and I think you'll understand it better because I'll have a visual to show you how it works. So if I go to github.com, Git and GitHub are different. Git is a technology in itself, and what we are doing until now is GitHub make gives us a place to basically store all these things. Back. So after login, you have to create a GitHub account. If you have made a great GitHub account, that's great. Now I'm gonna go and click on new repositories. It's showing me my repositories over here. If I click on new, it will give me an option to make a new repository. Now I'll name it. I think Facebook clone because that's our website. So I'll name my repository accordingly and I'll type in description a bad clone of Facebook or a better clone of Facebook. And this repository is going to be public. Click this link over here and create a repository. Because it can take some time to make a GitHub account, you don't have to do it. Just follow me along. I'll give you exercise later. You can do it later. You don't have to make a GitHub account. I'm just showing you how branches and everything work. So by default, this GitHub repository Facebook clone that we just made, it have one file in it called readme.md and it have a branch called master. Now, if you want to work on this base is this repository, we are gonna go and click on clone, copy this, and I'm gonna come to my Linux. You can do this in Git. Okay, if most of people are doing it on Windows, I'm gonna do it over here. So I will go to my desktop and I have a folder called Git already. So I will do a Git clone and I will put the URL here. Right click paste. should work. District is not supported. In this case, I guess we'll have to set up another thing. So if Git Bash is not working for you, uh, just type on Google CMDER, CMDER, and go to this page and download it from over here. Download full. People on Linux should not face this problem. Windows, this shouldn't be a problem, but whatever. After you have downloaded it, this is basically another alternative to use Linux commands on Windows. So we are gonna go to desktop and in my Git folder. Here we have all these repositories. I'll do git clone. Uh, is my terminal visible?
Yes, Shiral, you should zoom a little bit here.
Okay.
Make the font larger. Go to fonts, I think.
Where?
सबसे ऊपर.
Okay.
हाँ.
Sorry. I'll increase the size to. Okay, that's true.
Yeah, good.
That should do it. So I just did a git clone and it downloaded my repository from GitHub to my local computer. Now if I do an ls, I have this repository called Facebook clone. If I do cd into Facebook clone, I'll find that there is this file called readme.md and our default branch called master and at origin. So this is the master branch by default. Now, for example, we make a file called index.html on our master branch. Oh, come on. I'd rather use VS Code then. We are going to create a file called index.html. And in this file, I'm just going to say a paragraph. This is the home page. Okay. And if I see ls, we have this file now. If I do git status, this file is not yet added to the repository. I'll add it. Git add index.html and then I'm gonna commit it to upload it to GitHub. Commit dash m added index dash html. Yeah. So now it's added, and if we do git push, you don't have to do it all origin master until and unless you want it on master itself. So if we do git push, it should push, and for you it might ask for password. In my scenario, it is saved in the terminal itself, so that's why it's not asking me. Okay, was saved. So yeah, if I do git push, now it has been pushed to GitHub on my master branch itself. So now if we go to GitHub and refresh, we have an index file, and if we click on index.html, there is a paragraph. This is the home page. Now anyone in the world can go and clone this and start working on this project. In our case, I am developer 1, and now developer 2 is developing another feature in this. So I'm going to make we were adding avatars, right? So I'm going to do git branch, and for right now we only have one branch, and the star and green color, it shows in green color, and it have a star next to it. That means that we are on this branch right now. Now if we do git checkout new new feature avatars, git, I just you have to do if you are making it for the first time, just add dash b after that, git checkout dash b, and it will make a new branch for you. Until now we were working on master, now it's working on avatar branch. And if we do an ls, we have the same files as master branch. But now if I create another file in, let's call it, as until now we were using style.css, so styles.css is going to be my file. Now if we see that we have a styles.css on new avatars branch, now I'm gonna add it and commit it, style added, and then I will push it to GitHub. When you are pushing to a new branch, then you have to specify origin. Until now we were doing origin master. Now we want to push it to the new avatars branch that we have created. So what we are gonna do is set upstream origin new avatars. So it will upload it to the new avatars branch. Let it upload, and then I'll show you the difference between all these things. So now if we refresh this page, we have two branches. One is master and one is new avatars. Now what, nothing is changed on the new master branch, because master branch is something that we have running in production, I guess, where all our customers are coming and going, and then they are using this website. And on the new avatars branch, we have a file called styles.css. Here we are making all the changes and developing the website, and only our developers are using this version of the site to test it and do all the things. And this is how we basically, these are the two things that we do together. In master we have the production version of the site, and on other branches we are working on something different than what's on master, something new. Now let's take a minute, and if you guys have some questions or confusion, do let me know. Do you guys have any questions? I'm waiting on it. Until now, were you able to understand?
Shiraz, why don't you just write all the 5 commands in Notepad so they can note it down?
Yes, sure. They are in the slides itself. You don't have to note it down. I'll share resources. For now, you can see that you can create branches with git checkout dash b that we did over. Yes. Git checkout dash b and the name of the branch. So it will create this branch and it will switch to that branch. Like we were on master and now we are on new avatars after running that command. Then we did ls index.html and readme.md was the only files in this branch. Then we created another file over here. After that we added that file and then we pushed it to GitHub. Now for pushing on GitHub, you have to have the git push upstream origin as the new branch that you are pushing to. That's how GitHub knows that you are not pushing it to the master branch. I will share these commands. So this is git push upstream master for branch to check for branch list all the branches. You can do git branch like if we do now git branch, it will show two branches and the active one will have a star against it. And if we create another branch, git checkout dash b bug fixes, it will create another branch. And if we do git branches now, it have another branch. It have all three of those files that new avatars was having. Now let's say if you guys don't have any questions, like, we can move on. Do you guys have any questions? Do you guys have any questions? Okay, let's move on then. So now I want to delete the branch because this bug fixes branch was nothing that I wanted. I was just showing you guys. So I'll do git branch dash d for delete bug fixes. We have to check out first. So we'll do git checkout to our new avatars branch. Now we are on new avatars branch. Now we'll do git branch dash d bug fixes and it will be deleted. And it was deleted right then. Now we only have two branches. Now I was uh, I was working on new avatars for our Facebook clone, and I know that this is the final commit that I'm doing. I have added all the new styles and everything, and I know that this works right and don't have any bugs. Now it's ready to go in production, and our customers can enjoy this. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do git merge mask new avatars. Oh, sorry. First, you have to check out. Hit check out to master branch. Now we are switched to master branch, so we'll do git merge. It will merge new avatars. So when we did git merge, it took the other branch, and now if we see in our master branch, we have styles.css because it took all the changes from avatars branch and it put it in the production. Because I was sure that everything works fine, I added in production. Now, because there is no work of new, what was the new avatars branch, we can delete it also. So we do branch, git branch dash d new avatars. It will be deleted. For last, if we do check git branch, then there's only master branch left. So if you guys don't have any questions, or if you guys do have any questions, let me know. But I have another exercise for you. Uh, make a make a basically go to GitHub, create a repository call it whatever you want. Then clone a repository with git clone and the URL of that repository. Clone that repository. After that, clone a repo. Then make a file called index.html in the master branch. Then create a branch called development dev, and then make a file called likebutton.html in dev branch only. Then push it to GitHub. Then merge these two branches. Mer- Merge dev to in master branch and delete dev branch. These are your tasks. If you guys have any questions while doing it, do let me know so I can help you. Were you guys able to do it? Are you guys following along? Say yes or no or something. While you guys are doing this, I'll show you all the commits that we have done. They are showing up here and the message is showing here. This was our initial commit when we created the repository. Then I added index.html, then I added style stuff. That's why we add the commit messages. So later on, if we want to go back to this version of our code, we can right away go to this mode. We'll see how we can do that. But that's why we make all these commit messages. Those who are following along, let me know the questions you are having. I'm waiting on you to do it. Just I'll give you 5 more minutes, and after that I'll show you how to do this. So, hoping that everyone has done the whole exercise. This was the exercise if you want to see it on screen. And we are going to do it one by one now. Cool. So you were able to do it. If anyone is stuck anywhere, you still have time. I'm going to answer the questions that if you have any. Then I'll solve it. So first thing we had to do in this exercise was to create a new repo. So I'll just go to GitHub and then click on new and make a repo called git session, I guess. Git session started. And click on this button to initialize it the readme. And we have completed our first task of creating a repo. Starting, then we'll have to clone the repo. So we are going to click on this button. Then we are going to copy this and we'll do git clone git session. Now if I do ls, I have another directory called git sessions. I'm going to cd into that. After going inside of that directory, I'm going to do ls. So we have that readme file. Now I'm going to do this task, making an index.html. So I'll do it from over here. Click on this index.html. We'll add it a paragraph. I add a paragraph called whatever. Save it. And now if you see, we have index.html. Second task is complete. Then we have to create a branch called dev. So we'll do git checkout -b. So it creates it and goes to that branch, and I'll call it dev. We have created dev and we have switched to dev. Now I'm gonna do, if we ls, we have all the files of index, our master branch. Now we are gonna add one more branch in the, one more file in this called like button. So do like button.html. So if you do ls now, we have this file over here, and we have completed our in dev only. So we made sure that we were in dev branch and we made an like button.html. Now we are gonna do git push. So it will show you us this thing that if we want to push it on dev or not. So just select upstream origin dev. Git push # set upstream origin dev. Right now it's telling Git that we are going to upload this to the dev branch. We are going to upstream the whole code to the dev branch. GitHub now. We go on GitHub and we refresh. Oh, sorry. We had to git add everything. make a commit, git commit dash m files like button.html added. And same we'll do for git branch, git checkout, master, because we have not added files here too. If we do git status, there is no file here. We add everything just for sake. Then do git commit hash in. It won't let us commit if we have already done it. Ensure. See, it is not letting us do it. That means we did it before. Uh, so we check out back to dev branch and we do git push and it will push our code to GitHub. If we refresh again, we have another branch called dev. And if we go on dev, we have our 3 files. And on master, we don't have any file as of now. Then we had to merge all the code from dev to master. So we do git checkout to master branch and we do git merge dev. This command will merge everything from dev to dev branch to master branch. Now everything is in production and we can delete dev branch. So we'll do git branch dash d dev. Now if we say git branch, we have only one branch left anymore. It's called master. If we refresh, this dev branch is deleted. Let me get. Now we refresh. This should be deleted. Oh, okay. We have not added and pushed our changes yet. That's why it's not on the remote server. So we'll do git add git commit dash n dev branch deleted. We do git push. And now if we refresh on GitHub, sorry for this, we have everything on master branch. Yet it's there. We could not add this branch dash d not master dev. Yeah. Okay, let's make a file change. Then it will let us commit those changes. So I'm gonna go to like.html and I'll make simple doc tag and save it. Now we add everything and we'll do git commit for saving all the changes and we're gonna say dev branch deleted and we push it. After pushing is complete, it will now if we refresh this page, it should have deleted the master branch. It is kind of weird, you know. It it shouldn't be there anymore. I'll have to check what's going on this one. Do we have any questions so far?
Yeah, Shiraz. There is a question from Aryan Nigam. What is Git rebase? Is it similar to merge?
Okay. Git rebase and merge, right? Yes.
Yeah,
Basically the difference between git rebase and merge. So we'll see what rebase does in future. So I don't want to say anything about that, but what git merge does is it takes all the changes on a current branch and then mixes it. Basically it integrates all the changes on your whatever branch you're working on. For example, you're working on dev, we want to put all those changes in master. If we do git merge, it will take all these changes and it will push it to master. Basically it retains all the history of this branch. When we do git rebase, okay, I'll tell you what. When we do git rebase, it takes all the changes and push it to the master, and it clears all the history as well. But when you do it by git merge, it retains all the history and commit logs that you have on all the files, and then push it to the master. So in both cases, in rebase you don't retain history of these files, and in simple merges you retain the history. One difference is this. Yeah, that I think that's one major difference. Other than that, I don't think there is much difference. Does that answer your question? Aryan, did that answer your question? Were everyone able to do the exercise that I gave so that we can move on? If you don't have any questions, I'll be moving on then. So yeah, merges are of three types. One of the Until now we have seen only one type of merge. This is called fast forward merge. Fast forward merge, we are taking some file from one branch and pushing and merging it with the other. It and these files are completely different, so they are just integrating with the master branch without any conflicts. We'll talk about conflicts now, and we'll also talk about automatic and manual merge. So a lot of times what happens is if two developers are working on a project, for example, let's say that we were working on this project and in index.html, one developer, what one developer did was he was working on master branch. So he changed the index.html to say whatever. And then there was this another developer. We'll go back to our original directory, I guess, because we had more context there to understand. So in our old repo, Facebook clone, we have a master branch which have index.html and style.css. And in Git branch, we have just one branch. So we'll create another branch, Git branch, uh, dev 2. So now we have another branch, and we're gonna check out. dev2. We have switched to dev2 branch now, and we have all the same files. Now, if I go to my VS Code, and instead of whatever I say, I just add another one, two, three, four exclamation marks, and I'll do git add and git commit dash and added excite. In this folder, maybe we are working on another branch. See, it's showing the difference between two branches. In my, I have a plugin installed in my VS Code, so it shows all the differences if I'm making any changes. This is the same folder that we were working on before. Yeah, Facebook clone. This is some other repository. Yeah, this is the repository that I should have made changes in, but I didn't change. So here, if we see, in this index.html, we had this file called, this is the home page, and on dev2 branch, I'm going to change index.html to home page and exclamation marks, and then save it. In my master branch, exclamation marks are not there. So if I do git status now, it should say that my index was modified because I added those exclamation marks in there. I'll do git add index.html and git commit dash n added excitement, and I'll push it. When I push it to dev developer 2 branch, uh, this is here. So this one have all these exclamation marks, and in my master branch, I don't have any exclamation marks. Now, uh, from our three scenarios on git merge, fast forward is something where nothing is conflicting with each other. In here, we have a scenario where developer 1 has made changes that there are no these marks, and he just wrote a sentence. While developer 2 was also working on the same code, and he added these exclamation marks in the same sentence. Now this should be this there is not much of a conflict, so Git should resolve this automatically. If we do to git checkout master and do git merge dev2, it did it fast forward way because there was nothing much. Now if I check out back to our dev2 and change the whole sentence, this is trouble, or this is. Now the thing is that Git do not know what's going on in your mind, and it do not want which version of the file you want to keep. So in dev2 was working on the same file and he changed the complete sentence. And in dev1 did not did, had some other sentence. Now it will raise a conflict between these two files. Git will have both the files, both the versions of index.html, and it will ask us that which file we want to keep. Git status add we'll add that and git push. See, now just to show you once more, we have these two repositories and both have index.html. Our first master branch have this simple homepage, and in our dev2 we have this whole other paragraph. Now Git don't know which one to keep when we merge these two branches. So if we do git checkout to master, we come on master and we say git merge. We also have to change something on the master branch. So there is a change on both of them. So on master branch we say is is uh, is that okay if I change this file? Now developer 1 or developer 2 both change the same file. We added and all. Now if I say git merge dev2, see, now it's saying there is a problem. Okay, this is not what I want to show. Basically it's saying over here is that your local changes and local changes would be overwritten by the remote changes if we merge these two. There is now it's basically a conflict between your code and what is stored on the remote server. So for resolving this, we have to make a choice that either we want to keep the file on dev2, that is our local file that we that the changes we made, or the one that are on the remote server. So this is called a manual merge when you choose between things. We'll talk about conflicts after a 5-minute break. I need to see something why it's not working. If you have any questions, feel free to let me know. I'm answering all the questions for give me 5 minutes.
There's no questions, Ira, so I think you can wrap up.
Okay, at last, let's just show merge conflict. I was checking out the doc that why our merge conflict was not working, but it is working. This is how it is supposed to work. Uh, what do I have at last? So yeah, after this we are going to talk about PRs. So we resolved some conflicts. I'm gonna share a cheat sheet about these conflicts and how to solve them. Um, for now, we will talk about pull requests. So pull request is something how you can contribute to any open source project. So let's say our Facebook clone was an open source project, and we wanted to basically we made all the changes. We cloned it. Open source contribution is made through this, that there is a public repository. Now you go and clone it, and after that you just make changes, do whatever you can contribute to their code base, and after that uh, you just you have to fork the repo first, and then you have a version of your own. That repo will be copied to uh, your account, and then you can make a clone of that. After that, you just upload your changes here and click on compare and pull request. So pull request lets you contribute to code, and this will go to the um, original repo. So for example, here I'm saying here I'm making pull request that I resolve the conflict merge conflict. Here I'll give a description of what I did with their project, and I'll do a pull request. Now, for example, this was Chrome or this was actual Facebook, and Facebook was an open source project. So you could make changes to their code, and now they'll review that what files you have changed and what basically what files you have changed and what have you contributed to their project. And that's how they will just resolve the conflict. Either they will merge conflicting files that is showing over here. For this, it's asking for you to resolve the conflict. For example, look over here. It's showing that these are the two sentences that in their branch it was this, and I have changed that whole sentence to this one. Now, which one I want to keep? What's going on? Okay. If your code does not give them any conflicts, or it is actually something that is good, then they are going to merge it with the basically their project. So I'll show you. In this scenario, this is what is happening, that their code was changed to this. And then for example, I'm acting as Facebook. I'll say that your code is conflicting with our code. Fix that. And conflicting code is basically they will either deny it. For example, right now I'll deny it. Should have an option over here. Mark as resolved. Both these all the changes were made by me, so I have to resolve this conflict. But if I made an actual pull request to this repo, they would be able to deny the changes, or they have to accept the changes. So that's how you do open source contributions. For and why you should make open source contributions. So there are competitions like GSOC. GSOC is a thing that Google organizes every year, in which there are multiple open source projects that are running, like for example Ubuntu or Chromium, or all these projects are over there, and you can contribute code to them. Just like this, you can make pull requests to their code base, and if they like your changes, they'll accept it. So GSOC provides you with incentive for provide like they will coach mentor you for making PRs on their project. First, you have to give them a um, whole brief that what you are going to do with their project. If they like your ideas and if they think that you can contribute to their project, they'll accept your application, and after that they'll pay you for 3 months for contributing to open source project. Google will pay you. And same for Hacktoberfest, there is this competition that they provide you free swags for contributing towards open source. The GitHub has a GitHub student pack, education.github.com. GitHub has this program called GitHub Students Pack, and it gives you a lot of tools and basically classes and tutorials. There are a lot of things over here. I'll show you in a minute. So all these tools, AWS, Microsoft, all these things are free for you to do whatever you want with them. You can learn these tools or use them for free. If you apply for the student pack, you also get GitHub Pro for free, and multiple other programs like you can learn web development, and APIs are free, paid APIs are free here, all that stuff. So I wanted to tell you about this too. I think that's enough for today, I guess. I have completed most of the thing. I'll share cheat sheets with you guys for both command line and Git and GitHub. Uh, so that will be it, Tejas. Thank you guys. Hope you enjoyed. If you have any questions, feel free to message in the group and I'll answer them.
Yeah, thank you everyone. You have been great with us, and that was an amazing session, Siraj. You have so much knowledge. Thank you very much, and thank you very much, Progate, for this, for giving us support to organize such a great session. And in the last, I would like to wrap up that if you have
Tejas,
any
you're not
amazing
audible.
PR
You're you're not audible. Um,
to
Guys, if you have any questions, I'm open to it. If you have any questions right now, or you were stuck between something, then you can ask your questions right now in comments, or you can join the group and ask there.
I just
I
want to
guess
thank Progate
Tejas,
and Google, and I will share the Facebook link of our group, developer club in Bhopal, and also I will share the codes on this GitHub command line in the comment section. Thank you everyone for this.
did you guys like the session? Should we do an advanced Git session where we'll talk more about some more advanced stuff on Git and GitHub, resolving conflicts and merging branches and working with huge code bases, all that. I can show you. Did you guys enjoy it? Tell us in comments. Okay, I guess it left. So, guys, bye.
So thank you everyone. That's all for today. Hope you enjoyed it, and we enjoyed it a lot. That has been amazing. Okay, bye bye. Happy quarantine.